Hi, we're doing lesson 1-9 today, which is writing equations of piecewise functions. So we're reversing what we did yesterday. Yesterday we were given a graph, we were given the equation and we were to draw the graph. Today we're given the graph and we need to come up with the equation. So it's just the flip side of what we were doing yesterday. Let me know that you might listen. There's a guest spots by my dogs there. You can hear them a couple times. So anyway, hope that doesn't bother you too much. Let me know if you have any questions. See what you think. Here we go. Okay, this is lesson 1-9, writing equations of piecewise functions. So we're basically reversing what we did yesterday. Yesterday, we were given the equation and we graphed it. Today, we're given the graph and we need to come up with the equation. So what we're going to do is just find the equation for each piece. All right? For number one here, I've got four pieces. I've got a line segment here, I've got a line segment here, I have a single point, and then I have a ray starting here and going forever to the right. So, this line segment, going from here to this point up here, this point over here is -10, -3. This point over here is 0, 5. All right, so if I wanted to find the slope of that line, okay, rise over run or y2 minus y1, I'm going to do it over here on the side here. I'm going to say m equals y2 minus y1, this is our slope formula, over x2 minus x1. And I'm going to use my 2 points here. So my y values are 5 and -3, so 5 minus a -3, over my x values 0 minus -10. Always be consistent. Since I put the 5 first on the top, I have to put the 0 first on the bottom. -3 came second, -10 comes second. 5 minus -3 is like 5 plus 3 is 8. 0 minus -10 is like 0 plus 10 is 10, and that reduces to 4/5. So my slope of this line is 4/5. The equation of this line will be y equals 4/5 x plus b, the y-intercept, is very clearly 5. So 4/5 x plus 5. Now this one, it's going through 0, 5. This point is 3, -1. So finding the slope, m equals y2 minus y1, -1 minus 5 on top, over 3 minus 0 on bottom. -1 minus 5 is -6, 3 minus 0 is 3, -6 divided by 3 is -2. Makes sense it's negative since it's going down from left to right. It also made sense that this was positive. It's going up from left to right. And I think I've got everything I need now. So this line is going to be, that line would be y is equal to -2x. Again, the same y-intercept plus 5. All right, so let's put all this together then. Okay, so I'm going to have a f of x equals the first piece, moving from left to right, 4/5 x plus 5. And that will be starting at -10, so I'm going to say -10 less than or equal to x, closed circle, less than, and I'm going to include it here. It doesn't really matter. I can include it on either part. I don't want to include it on both, but I'm going to include it here up to 0. -10 less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 0. My next piece is -2x plus 5. And that one I'm not going to include it with the 0 since I included the 0 here. 0 is less than x is less than 3 because my x value is 3 at this one, and that's an open circle, so not included. It's equal to 2. That point here is 3, 2. So my y value is 2 when x equals 3. And finally, my y value up here is 4. The equation of this line is y equals 4. So y equals 4 for x greater than, strictly greater than, not equal to 3. So those, I've got 4 pieces and 4 parts to that equation. Okay? All right. You can pause that and take time with it if you need. I'm going to the back. Number 2. Okay, again, I've got, this time I only have 3 pieces. Makes it a little bit easier. I've got a line here. I've got a quadratic, it looks like here. And then this looks like a root. And you kind of need to be able to recognize these things. It's very helpful if you can recognize these things. All right, so let's start with our line here. And I'm going to kind of work this out at the bottom. I need 2 points. So this point is -2, -7. And it looks like I have an x-intercept here of -10, 0. So coming down here to the bottom of the page, I've got -10, 0, -2, -7. So my m, my slope, -7 minus 0 over -2 minus -10. So -7 over -2 plus 10 would be 8. And so -7/8 is my slope. All right, I need the y-intercept as well. And this one, it looks like it's going to be close to -8, -9, somewhere in there. But it's hard to see it exactly. It's not hitting the y-axis, so I can't tell exact. So I'm going to simply use my y equals mx plus b and plug in. So I'm going to plug in 0 for my x. I'm going to plug in -7/8 for my m. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so I'm plugging in my points. I'm using the point -10, 0 here. This is my x, this is my y. So actually, I messed this up. So this would be -10 here, equals 0. So I've got negative times a negative here will be a positive 70 over 8. Think of that as 10 over 1 plus b. When I subtract it, b is equal to -70 over 8, which reduces to 35 over 4 for my b. 35 over 4. So the equation of the line, y equals -7/8x minus 35 over 4. Okay? Pause that and spend some time with it if you need to. Okay, second piece. Second piece is this quadratic. Now normally, let me just show you this. Normally, if I have x squared, x and x squared, if I put in 0, I get 0. Positive or -1, I get 1. Positive or -2, I get 4. All right? So let's look at this quadratic. At 0, consider this to be 0, 0. Now it's opening down, and we'll take care of that in just a minute. But notice when I go 1 point to the left or right, it goes down 2. Normally, if I go 1 point to the left or right, it only moves 1. All right? When I go 2 to the left, 2 to the right, it's going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots. It's going down 8. So when I went 1 to the left, it went down 2. When I went 2 to the left, it went down 8. So it's going twice as much. So what that tells me is it's going to be 2x squared. It's still giving me 0, but then it'll give me a 2 and an 8 here. All right? So I have 2x squared instead of x squared. The other thing is it's opening down, so it's going to be -2x squared. And then the last thing is it's shifted up 2. So we're going to have +2 at the end of it. So my equation for the quadratic will be -2x squared plus 2 to shift it up 2. All right, the last thing is this root. All right, and I've got a good point here. It looks like I've got a good point here, and I've got another good point right here. All right, for most roots, for just the standard root, square root of x, 0 it's 0, at 1 it's 1, at 4, square root of 4 is 2. So let's look at this one. If I go over 1, it's 1. If I go over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's up 2. So this is just your standard. There's no stretch or shrink here. It's just shifted. So instead of this point being 0, 0, it's shifted 2 to the right, and it's shifted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down. 2 to the right and 6 down. All right, so the left and right shifts, remember, are exactly the opposite of what we think. So it's going to be square root of 2 to the right is going to be a -2, x minus 2, and then down 6 is going to be -6. All right, so that's the equation of that. Y is equal to square root of x minus 2 minus 6. All right, so let's put all this together. My first piece was this line, -7/8x minus 35/4. Notice that is pretty close to -9. And that's going to be from negative infinity. Well, let's use inequality notation here. So that's going to be for x less than or equal to, because it's a closed circle here, less than or equal to negative 2. Okay? My next piece is negative 2x squared plus 2. And that's going to be from negative 2 less than x. I have an open circle until I get to positive 2. Less than or equal to positive 2. So there's my closed circle on positive 2. And finally, my last piece is the square root of x minus 2 minus 6. And for that piece, it starts at 2 and it goes to infinity, so x greater than 2. All right, that is it. I hope that all made sense to you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you tomorrow. So the clicking that you hear throughout, from time to time on the video, that's my dog Dixie. She's 17 years old. The huffing that you hear from one of the dogs midway through the video is my dog Tim. He's like 7 years old and he likes to make a little more noise. But I stopped the video and put him outside while I finished up. So I hope that was all made sense to you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope y'all are doing okay, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.